And welcome back. Well, welcome is not the right word on this day. After three straight wins, the Jets get absolutely smoked on Monday Night Football. And my goodness gracious, I mean, let's let it be therapy today. I mean, chat, ask Wayne anything, ask me anything.
Yeah.
Wayne, how are you? I don't know if you were there yesterday. Were you there yesterday or not?
I was there, but I was doing sweet appearances and like three a quarter till the end of the third, beginning of the fourth, and by the time I had a chance to watch the game, it was pretty much over
Oh, so you
at
lucked
that
out.
point.
You lucked out basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the first I started right at the beginning of the game, and Chargers got the ball first. And by the time I got in the elevator and down to the first suite, they ran the pump back for a touchdown. And I was like, I don't even know if we got the ball, what happened. So I kind of set the tone for the whole night.
Yeah, it was just brutal. I mean, first of all, the defense, you can't get on the defense too much, but they just didn't tackle yesterday. I mean, early on, the D line was actually playing well. They were winning the battle in the trenches. I thought, okay, I mean, they're down, but the D line's playing well. The O line is doing okay in the run game, not great. But every guy was just bouncing off a tackle. They just weren't wrapping up. They were there, but Eckler was bouncing off, Herbert was bouncing off. And then once the Chargers got a lead, they didn't have to do anything. They had to do nothing after that because they knew the Jets couldn't score. So the offense was just putrid. Zach Wilson was bad. I think, Hackett was bad too, but I think it's more a mentality thing with this offense. And it's tough to put a finger on it without being, in the building, in those meetings, the coaches' meetings.
Yeah.
What do you think, Wayne, with this
You
offense?
know, it's a shame with this offense. They say they don't have to go crazy. Just be 25% better.
Yeah,
Just do something. Three of 17 on third down. That's pathetic.
awful. They ran
That's
like 77 plays total.
50, 49 passes. That kid should not be throwing 49 passes. I don't care if you're down, if they start the game down three touchdowns. You shouldn't be throwing that much. But the
No.
shame of it is that when they have 14 points, I'm like, all right, that's 5 field goals for us. They have 17. I'm like, all right, that's 6 field goals. I'm not even thinking we could score a touchdown. It's a shame that we're leaning on Greg DeLeg and Morstead's our offensive MVPs. So
Yeah.
what was said after the game? Because I'm looking at the comments and they're saying there was an interview with Salah when
Yep.
asked about Zach and the offense.
I heard it. Salah pretty much said, obviously it wasn't Zach's best game. It wasn't Zach's worst game. More the same in that the offense has to be better as a whole. And listen, Zach is not playing well. He doesn't have that feel. He doesn't have that overall. It's a leadership. To me, it's a leadership thing. Look
Yeah.
at the penalties. Look at the dead ball stuff. Look at the miscommunication. When penalties are happening like that, when fumbles are happening, it's miscommunication, not getting rid of the ball, and that's leadership. And if you look at it, this is the second year in a row where as soon as AVT went down for the year, they stopped running the ball. For the past 3 weeks, they haven't been able to run the ball. If you look at with AVT and without, and you can't just survive. You can't play offense if you're surviving on one offensive lineman like that. So they're just a bad way right now. And I think the mentality in the building doesn't help that because one mistake and they just can't overcome it.
Yeah. Dude, this is a copycat league. Everybody who's watching this film, who's playing them, that watched the film last week, we run the same stuff. Terrible play calling.
Yeah.
I've said that all along. He's running an Aaron Rodgers system with the quarterback that can't do the same things. Aaron called most of the plays when he was there. And Hackett got credit for that.
He calls
But
him at the line. See, this is the thing too. At the line of scrimmage.
yeah,
Rodgers, Brady, Mahomes. That's what these guys do. And you can't do that with Zach Wilson, unfortunately. You just can't do it.
but you go watch any game, you'll see before you go in the center, Brady, they're all pointing out the mic. They're pointing at this. Watch this blitz. He just gets up there There's nothing. There's no pre-snap read. And listen, I try to support this kid, Zach, and like these 15-yard sacks, 12-yard sacks, it's like infuriating. Just step up, take your 5-yard loss, your 6-yard loss. You can't be second and 25, third.
Yeah.
That's why third down. I mean, this kid, dude, I was asking Lavergne today, if you had 32 teams, I would say he's a starter. He's not top 50 quarterbacks in the NFL right now on rosters. I don't think
Yeah,
he's even top 50.
that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, Joshua Dobbs was there on a Tuesday, got his uniform, and he had to go in for Kirk Cousins. Didn't really know the plays. On the sideline, he was talking to the offensive lineman because he didn't take a snap in practice, telling him like what the cadence is going to be, this and that, and he wins the game. And we got a guy that's been here 3 years and can't do anything.
Yep. Dobbs. I'm starting to love Dobbs more and more. The kid's an actual genius, rocket scientist or
He's
something. I don't know what he's. Yeah. But Zach, I mean, listen, Zach, he is what he is.
Yeah.
But geez, it's as if him and the entire offensive coaching staff is just deathly afraid of screwing up the game. And I tweeted this out earlier. When you have a mentality that sways one way or the other, offense or defense, as a head coach or, as an organization, that's a fracture. And it's been this way for years, and you just can't have it.
Yeah, I feel bad. The defensive guys. I heard Quincy after the game are saying all the right things. All three phase guys. I mean, to give up a punt return to a touchdown, like that goes towards the points per game given up by the defense, which stinks. And they played hard, and we're having the same conversation every week. Offense is terrible, blocking's terrible, Zach's terrible, play calling's terrible, and I'm a homer. You know what I mean? I'm an optimist, and the defense is good enough to win a Super Bowl. And this is how it is. But like, just let the kid just throw the ball. I mean, what do you have to lose at this point?
That's the thing. Two things could be true at once, where Zach struggles, may never be the guy, is not that guy, but there's also little risk taking, like both are true. And great, he hasn't thrown a pick in 5 weeks. Who the hell cares if this is
no awareness out there? I mean,
like let him. When you're coaching guys, you got to let your guys showcase their best attribute. What's his best attribute? On the run, sling it, throw it like you're playing backyard football. Your goal can't be don't throw a pick to mess it up. Your goal has to be make more plays than you mess up. And that's not what they're doing. And I think it's terrible. This comment here, Salah's got to hold Zach accountable. He holds everyone else accountable. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, there's a lot of instances where other guys aren't being held accountable too, but I agree with the overall point on Zach. Yes.
It's just, it makes no sense at this point. Throw Tim Boyle in there, throw anybody in there. The biggest mistake is I still don't understand why we didn't bring any, like a massive amount of linemen offensive linemen in the bye or any week. Just bring bodies in there. Bring, lunch pail guy, tough guys. It's tough to find skill position guys off the street that maybe are not with teams for one reason or another. But these tough guys, these lunch pail guys, these blue collar guys, you could find them. You could find them sitting on their couch. They don't need to be in shape. Just go in there and fight. Bring people in that got to fight. It's not like it's like turnstiles, man. It's insane that they haven't brought any help in or depth in for the offensive line.
So yeah, Billy Turner had a rough game. Max Mitchell played his first game at guard in the NFL, I think, which is interesting. It's not easy because everything's a lot quicker in there. He's got the body for it, but everything's quicker. They did bring in Roger Saffold on the practice squad this past week. Was not elevated for this game. We'll see if he's elevated. I'd be shocked if he isn't for Vegas. It's just a shame. AVT, McGovern, Schweitzer. Amazingly, Becton stays healthy. You want Dwayne Brown back, as bad as he was earlier in the year. It's I love the idea of Aaron Rodgers because he's an on-field coach and he improves everything, the O-line, the weapons, everything. And you don't eventually throughout the season, his on-field coaching and style and aggressiveness will marry with the overall mindset of the Jets, which is defensive.
Yeah.
And without that, you're just back to square one.
I mean, were we supposed to be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline? We didn't
It didn't do
do
anything.
anything. I mean, make a decision. Are you going to be like this team that are, getting rid of contracts or guys who are coming up and going young and like accumulating draft picks? Or are we somebody who's looking to trade for a lineman or a leader, something like that? I posed a question too. The defense is, Mosley and Quinnen and Whitehead. You got these vets on there, and the young studs, obviously, exhausting those guys that can get in front of the team or in the locker room and like have that players only meeting. Who is the person on the offense, not Aaron,
They have no one
that would step up there in front of the team and say, sorry to the defense, we could do better, and motivate the offense? There is no leader on that offense.
AVT. Like last year when AVT went down, AVT and Brees went down in the same week. AVT, I love Brees, but AVT is the far bigger issue. And when you look at this, I'm going to share something. When you look at this offense, it is insane the yards per carry with AVT and without. In the 5 games with AVT, they've averaged 123.2 yards a game this year. Without it, 70.3. Scoring 23.25 versus 13. It's an indictment to just be relying upon one guy like this, but I think it's leadership. I don't think it's actually relying on his talent. I think it's leadership more so because the O-line is half of the offense, nearly half of the offense, 5'11". And if you had that leader on the O-line, you're sitting pretty. You help that young quarterback who's trying to navigate through. And to your point, Wayne, they don't have that guy on offense.
What's crazy is as bad as the offense was last year, and it was terrible, they're scoring 3 points less a game than last year, which was the worst. I think there's 4 times in the NFL that there's been 8 touchdowns in 8 games, and 3 of them are the Jets.
It's crazy, man.
Especially 2 years in a row. But they have 8 touchdowns in 8 games, and one of them, Philly let Brees Hall score on purpose.
Yep.
7 touchdowns. Dude, listen, I'm not out there. I'm not in meetings, but you put me out there with my squad versus a defense that's 31st in yards given up and 27th in points. We're putting up 40 points, 50 points. I mean, obviously they got Khalil and Bosa coming off the ends there. But, dude, there's a Swiss cheese defense, and we couldn't even put a touchdown up. We couldn't put anything up.
My best advice to Hackett and Saleh is reckless abandon. Like, forget. Like, even when they're not trying to turn the ball over and just playing that way, they wind up fumbling 3 times. Garrett fumbles once. Zach Wilson fumbles twice. They commit boneheaded penalties. The penalties over the last 2 weeks have been atrocious. Awful.
Dude, the timing of them is just, listen, it's lack of focus. But at some point, coaches got to say, I don't know, find the guy, something to just be like, listen, you got to focus. Roughing the passer or hitting late or grabbing when, it's just, it's just everything across the board.
And never.
Defense gets some big plays against them, but it's a shame because they're being wasted.
Yes.
In a year they still have a chance to do something, but how can you honestly look at with that line and think that we're going to score any points this year?
You can't. And the only way you could have that possibility is if the overall atmosphere changes, the mindset changes. And when people hear me say that, they go, oh, how do we know this? You would know. You would know if that mindset changes. And is it tough to go 5-7 step drops too often with a terrible offensive line? Absolutely. but there are ways where you could do it, where you could sneak it in on first down, where you could devise certain things early in the game. But they don't want to do that. They just want to hang around, keep it close, feature the defense, and that's just not going to work today. That's not.
Someone made a comment about Dobbs and these other guys have better O lines in front of them. Listen, I agree with that, but there are quarterbacks that have done a lot more with less.
Yep.
I mean, Burrow got sacked over 50 times that year. You know what I mean?
Burrow makes his O line.
Burrow, but like teams have won with makeshift, with injuries and stuff like that. So you can't say it's impossible. I mean, we're 4-4, and it feels like the season's over. And I'm like I said, I'm trying to be realistic, but with that defense. And with the special teams minus last week, they're going to be in almost every game. So yeah, they could still win games. Don't they're not tanking, but it's just frustrating that they can't do anything.
Someone mentioned Leo Collins, free agent lineman who's out there, still a free agent. I don't know why. I think the Jets worked him out, but he hasn't signed with anyone. I haven't heard anything. Don't know why.
Yeah.
This comment, missing Brandon R, missing their center, making line calls hurts too. Yeah, McGovern being out hurts too for leadership. Tippmann played center. And as a rookie, that's going to be an adventure. No doubt about it. I love Tippmann. He played great at guard, but it's going to take some time at center. Good point.
Hey, here's Linear. There was a third down where Zach Wilson had a running lane and to get the first down, and he just pitched the ball. I don't know who he pitched it to, and the guy got tackled right away. And
yeah, that was a bad one.
My gut reaction, I was actually walking and I see, I was like, run. And I was like, when I do that at home, my son's like, that he can't hear you. I'm like, I don't care. It's just a natural thing. I keep him on the sideline, but it's like, dude, make a play. Do a head first, go over the top, jump like Josh Allen, do something where you get up, you get your ass kicked, you get fired up, you pump the fist, the crowd gets back into it, your teammates get into it. Do something, shock the fans by showing some kind of emotion.
Yeah, and they tried to do getting him out of structure, like not being mechanical is the way to try to play this. So they tried to do a little no huddle, and it worked in the beginning. Like they were driving the ball, they fumbled twice near midfield. But you're right. Do something out of structure to make something happen. But that fear is there, man. The fear is in his eyes, and I don't know why, and I don't know how anyone could drill it out of him.
Yeah, you trying to rally, with under 2 minutes left, down 3 touchdowns. Like, do that when it's important. It's easy. It's easy to do stuff when it doesn't matter. And I joke about this.
Are playing off 29-yarder to Garrett Wilson. They're playing outside leverage way too much. I know you want to protect the sideline, but that was ridiculous. Regardless, he makes the plays against the Giants. Last year in Pittsburgh, comes back from a 10-point deficit when no one thought they could win. He only starts slinging it and playing well and fitting it into areas when there's nothing to lose. When a pick or something bad doesn't really matter. Like, I got nothing to lose now. Oh, now I could play. Yeah, you're right. You're right on the point. Like,
it's like Giancarlo Stanton or whatever. They're down, 7-0, and he hits a home run like 8th or 9th. It means nothing, but it shows statistics. Like Zach's trying. It's just frustrating. Like, get in the huddle, look your guys in the eye, and tell them we are going to take this ball, ram it down the throat, and we're going to put points on the board. Take some pressure off the defense. Like Garrett Wilson said, you come off the sideline after 3 and out, and you're looking at your buddies, the defense that's fighting for you, and you almost can't look them in the eyes. You want to apologize. Like, listen, I know you guys are gassed. You just got some water, but you got to go back out there. And this is what the defense is doing the whole game.
Oh, it's lagging. They're saying, is it still lagging, everyone? Comment if you can. Lionheart says the Jets are the only NFL team in the Super Bowl era to have their defense collect 5+ sacks, hold the opponent to under 200 yards, and not allow any 25-yard plays, and yet lose the game by 20+ points. Yeah, that's impressive. That is an impressive stat.
That's hard to do.
Let me close some of these tabs just in case we're still lagging here.
Yeah.
I have like 50 tabs open in my browser, like a numbskull. All right, yeah, guys, comment. If it's still lagging, comment. We got about 5, 6, 7 minutes left. Again, listen, Wilson is who he is. I kind of lay it on Salah's feet because it's a mentality, it's a mindset, and I think that is what needs to be focused on first.
Yeah, and this is when the rumblings start. The anonymous sources, of what's going on, this and that, the stories, what's going on in the locker room and everything else. And they got to make sure, the leaders got to make sure, and the coaches got to make sure that doesn't happen. Because like I said, they go out to Vegas, tough game, but these are the teams that they need to win and have the tiebreaker versus, which would have been huge with the Chargers when it comes to wild card. I don't know if I'm crazy talking about the playoffs still.
No.
You have that tiebreaker to maybe get you the wild card. I mean, if they won last night, you're half out. You got a chance to win the East.
Be in great shape.
But at this point, you're just hoping.
Now, another Lionheart goodie here. Jets team offense last 13 seasons. Oh my God. 31st, 25th, 26th, 32nd, 32nd, 29th, 28th, 26th, 10th, which was 2015, Fitzmagic. 22nd, 25th, 30, 25th. Guess what? Number 80 was not on any of those squads.
Listen, I'm looking at this. What's make you last? This is like my golf handicap. Can we get like a Vinny Testaverde handicap? He's a 3, a 5, a 7. He plays golf all the time. This is my golf handicap. 25, 28. That's not good in any sport. It's not good in golf. It's not good in
And I'm trying to think of the if there's any parallels here. And the only thing I can think of is the Jets have had defensive head coaches for the past 2.5 decades, other than Gase.
Yeah.
And I said this. I defended LaFleur last year because I felt like he was in a no-win situation. Like, what are you gonna do? Change the OC? It's not his fault. Right. Like, he was trying to be imaginative, and he was working with what he had. The injuries were crushing. Hackett comes in. Do I make that move every time? If you know you're going to get Aaron Rodgers? Yes, I do. But I don't care if 1980s Bill Walsh is your OC right now. It's not going to do anything. Right. Like it's a bigger problem than just the quarterback, even though that's a major problem, and the OC. Even the O-line, it's a bigger problem. There's something bigger happening here than just any of those parts, even though they're all big issues.
Yeah, it's just across the board. It's just like you said, it's frustrating that it's happening year after year, and they didn't make the moves to improve our biggest weakness again, which is the offensive line. What do you see coming up with the game this week
with Vegas?
Yeah, same as this week. I mean, a lot of pressure on the on the offense. How does our defense stack up with their offense?
I think the wild card is Antonio Pierce. Now is the head coach for Vegas, who just steamrolled the Giants. He's a rah fiery guy. They're a little happy now that McDaniels is gone and they're gone from the Pats regime. I think the Jets defense could have a good game. Aiden O'Connell. If you want to compare someone, Zach Wilson, to a young quarterback, Aiden O'Connell, rookie, was he from Purdue, I think? I caught a little bit of that game against the Giants. He looks like a vet out there, making the right calls at the line of scrimmage, making the right reads. So I think the Jets match up well. I just got to see them play football that marries up with today's rules. Stop acting like you're going to win 10-9 every game. That's all. Just play.
You can't do that. You can't consistently think that the defense is going to hold them to that. It's not fair. It's not fair to them. It's not, they're playing their butts off, and they just need some help. So like I said, season's not over, but this is a must win this week.
It is. And even as bad as Zach Wilson is, and even if he has no right being in the spot, it's not fair to him either. Like, you have to let him wildly succeed or wildly fail. Don't
Yeah,
continue down this whatever path. Just playing it close to the vest, if that makes
yeah.
sense.
It's like I said, I hope they go out there and you know, let's shock the world. Let's score a touchdown.
Yeah,
Let's score a touch on the first drive. Hey, go out to Vegas to watch the game. What kind of odds you get? Jets score a touchdown on the first drive
oh
of the
God.
game. What are we looking at?
Plus a trillion
Yeah.
on the first drive. That's like almost fairy tale land.
Listen, and like I said, I am a Jet for life. I bleed green, and I make my comments, from the heart, and I don't criticize as much as I should. I'm not harsh enough, but at this point, like I said, something's got to change. We're not at the point at the season where we're like looking forward to next year and a good draft pick.
Yeah.
Something needs to change now. I don't know what it is, but it has to change, and it has to change now. And going into this week,
We'll wrap it up like this. Did you see Aaron Rodgers? Any of the video pregame?
dude, what the hell, man? I mean, he's
Is he
out
human?
there.
Is he human?
I'm thinking this for anybody who's ever had even just a sprained ankle or a high ankle sprain, you can't fake what he's doing. There's no amount of Toradol or painkiller that you can put in your body that's going to allow you, after a month after or whatever, to 6 weeks after a torn Achilles surgery, that you can do that. It's not a normal thing. And
Yeah.
initially I said, when he said, "Oh, I might be able to come back end of the year," I was like, "Why give false hope?" But it
Yeah.
was good for fans. But now I'm like, "Wow, this might happen sooner than we think." And
Yeah.
it's gonna be the same offensive line in front of him that's in front of Zach, but he's a complete different animal. He gets back in there, it's gonna be fun again.
Yeah. There's no Percocet strong enough
I'm
to do
telling
what
you,
he's
dude.
Hey,
Yeah.
ayahuasca. Maybe it is so magical that we're missing
No,
out over here.
no, he's bouncing around, man. He's on his toes. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm excited that the option that he might be back this year.
Yeah. It really is incredible. JetsXFactor.com, folks. Use discount code 80 and rate and review and at iTunes and share. That's the best thing you can do for us. Wayne, we'll see what happens in Vegas this weekend. I think I'm heading down there to cover the game Saturday to Monday, but we'll see. Like 90% chance, yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, tell me how you do out there. hopefully,
I'll,
hopefully at least you win.
I'll tell. Hey, I'll tell Antonio Pierce you said hi. We'll
Yeah.
see.
All right. Listen, when you get a first year coach, a young coach comes in there, they wake a team up. That's what makes me
They
nervous.
do. It either goes really good or really bad.
Yeah.
One or two
We'll see, man.
directions. Yep. All right. Take care, everybody.